Welcome everyone to today's workshop. We're being sponsored by Empowered Communities, and our topic for today is grocery shopping on a budget. Shopping healthy doesn't have to be expensive. So to start you all off with a little story and to let you get to know me a little bit better and maybe how I relate to this issue, I am one of 7 children and I come from a family of 9 total in the household. My parents did have somewhat of a limited income. For grocery shopping and meals, my parents made a lot of things from scratch. They made use of fresh items from our garden. They really limited the amount of junk food and snacks that were coming into our household. And I don't remember a whole lot of fancy meals growing up, maybe once in a while for a holiday. But mostly our meals were really simple. But because of this sort of lifestyle, we were well fed, we were happy, and we were healthy. And so I'm hoping to share a few of these principles with you and give you some ideas of maybe how you can incorporate these things into your own shopping, your food lifestyle, and help your family with that. So the first thing that we need to do when we are shopping on a budget is to know exactly how much money can be allocated towards grocery shopping each week. Following that is making a meal plan. This is really essential because it eliminates impulse shopping. And if you know your budget, it's easy to line that up with what kinds of things you want to feed your family, what you can buy, and make those match. So when you go shopping, know your budget, have your meal plan, and stick to those things. All right, so some preliminary tips for shopping on a budget. A great tip is to go through the ads from grocery stores that you have nearby. Now, if you subscribe to a newspaper, typically the coupons and weekly sales, monthly sales are listed in newspapers. But if you don't get a newspaper, that's no problem. You can always find the ads from grocery stores on their store websites. So shop around those ads. Begin to shift your thinking towards instead of what do we want to eat this week to what's affordable and available for us to eat this week. So we're going to do a quick game here. Just asking the question, which is more expensive? Would you say that a pack of hot dogs or a pork or beef roast is more expensive? Thinking about that, then would you say a can of beans or a 1 pound bag of uncooked beans that you would take home and cook is more expensive? So let's take a look at what our answer is. It comes in the form of the concept of multiples. So a can of beans or 1 pack of hot dog, that's probably going to feed your family for one meal, right? But if you buy a beef or a pork roast or a 1 pound bag of uncooked beans, you can make that feed your family for multiple meals. So let's explore why that works. Okay, so we're just going to use an example. The single pack of hot dogs is definitely less expensive than a roast. I do understand that. But if the roast is on sale, then using it for multiple meals means that it will actually cost you less overall. So if you are a family of 4, let's say, and you buy a 3 pound roast, you could probably stretch that over 3 to 4 meals. Now, I understand if you're going to use that for just the roast as a meal in and of itself, yeah, you're probably only going to get one meal out of that with movers. But if you're incorporating that into a meal that includes other ingredients, then yes, definitely you can stretch that over 3 or 4 meals. So I've just given a quick little meal list of some ideas you could do. You could make beef and noodles over mashed potatoes or, some brown rice or some whole wheat toast if that is more to your taste. You could do enchiladas. You can season that meat with some chili powder, cumin, and garlic, and make a nice Mexican food with enchiladas with that. You can put that meat in a soup or a stew, or you could make fajitas. So there's just an example of how something that maybe costs more can be stretched out over multiple meals and in the end will cost you less. So moving on, meal plan tips. Again, this is just an example. You can make a meal plan and a shopping list based on whatever preferences your family has. But making a meal around as few grocery items as possible. So what I've done here, as you can see on the left, is an example of a meal plan. So we've just got 5 days, Monday through Friday. We've got a bean, chicken, and veggie quesadilla. Tuesdays, egg salad sandwiches. Wednesdays, burritos. Thursdays is a chef salad. And Friday, we end with a stir-fried chicken bowl. Now, if you look at these from the outset, these are all really different types of dinner ideas, and it may be common, but if you look closer than 10 grocery shopping list out of this entire week's dinner meal plan. And so 10 items, that doesn't necessarily cost you a whole lot, especially if you're looking for things on sale. So let's just take a look. Those beans on the shopping list, that goes into your quesadilla and burritos. The chicken on your list, you can use that for quesadilla, your salads, and also your stir fry. Over eggs for breakfasts. The veggie variety, that goes into so many different meals. Your salad, your stir fry, your quesadillas, you can use the lettuce on the egg salad sandwiches as well as the burritos. The cheese, your quesadilla, and then burritos, and maybe a little delicious topping on your salad. Tortillas, that goes to your quesadillas and your burritos, and the rice for your quesadilla, burrito, and stir fry. And the bread, use it for toast and the mornings for breakfast. So I just wanted to give you an example of how you can make a meal plan. You can pair your grocery list and make that list super short, but expand that out over a week's worth of dinner ideas. Another tip is to plan meals based on ingredients you already have at home so that you're not making a meal plan and purchasing ingredients for absolutely every item on that list. Use what you already have. That will cut down cost. So really quickly, we're going to shift gears and just talk about the difference between something prepackaged or homemade. So in the previous slide, we saw prepackaged biscuits. So those are typically less than $2. That's pretty cost effective. But if you'd like, if you have some extra time, making things from scratch almost always comes out to be much less expensive, and buying those ingredients that it takes to make something from scratch are leftover ingredients that you can use towards lots of other things. So again, it's sort of like the example of the roast where you have a little bit of a higher cost up front, but then it stretches out for longer, and in the end, you've spent a lot less. So in the example of the biscuits, to make that from scratch, you need to buy a little bit of a bag of flour, some baking soda. You probably already have some milk at home. But now you can make biscuits many times over with these ingredients. And you can make something else. You could make pancakes, waffles with the same ingredients. You could make muffins. So anyway, just to shop in mind with these concepts. Yes, there's the convenience, the ease of prepackaged food, but scratch is typically less expensive. Okay, so another thing that I like to go over is shopping in terms of recipes. And I really wanted to bring our produce concept into this because we haven't talked about produce yet in the workshop. And produce typically gets a bad rap for being expensive at times, but if you buy thinking about recipes, it's much more cost effective. So again, going back to looking at sale in your local grocery stores, pick things that are on sale. A simple fruit salad recipe can be made from 1 orange, 1 apple, 1 banana. if grapes are on a really good sale, or strawberries, or whatever. Maybe pick something like that up, add it to your fruit salad. But it doesn't have to take a whole lot of produce to make something delicious, healthy, and a wonderful side dish or breakfast or snack for your family. You're not having to buy tons of produce to get in that awesome nutrition that you need daily. Okay, so buying in bulk. This is kind of a tricky one. Um, the initial price of bulk is sometimes expensive, but it's often not. Um, if you can afford to buy in bulk, I would say do that, because the price of that product per ounce or per pound is going to be much less expensive than buying that very same item prepackaged in smaller quantities every single time that you need it. Hopefully that makes sense. Just a few more tips that we're going to end on today. When you're grocery shopping, skip the soda and other drink items. Why? They're unhealthy. They're loaded with sugar. Typically, they're expensive, and water is just so much better for you. Second tip, don't shop when you're hungry, when you're stressed, you're angry, or without your shopping list that is based around your meal plan. Why? Shopping in these conditions can greatly increase the chance that you will impulse buy and select items that are high in sugar, saturated fat, and calories. I know that's true for me. If I'm stressed out or hungry, I'm going to buy comfort food and spend more on things that I may not have purchased otherwise. So it's just a good idea. Third tip, only buy what your family will actually eat. This may seem obvious, but when you're purchasing new foods, or if you're doing a meal plan for the very first time, stick to what your family likes. And if you're going to branch out, just do it a little bit at a time. It really helps reduce food waste, and then you're putting your money into items that are going to get eaten up. Last and fourth tip is skip the chips, prepackaged desserts, and other junk food items. Like the first tip, they're unhealthy. They're loaded with sugar, calories, saturated fats. They're expensive. And think about the trade. Sometimes produce might have a similar price tag to like a bag of chips or prepackaged dessert, but what's more healthy, what's more nutritious, and will help you be fuller for longer, getting those nutrients, those vitamins that your body really needs on a daily basis. So I just want to thank you all for attending this class. Thank you for your time, and best of luck with your shopping.